Hello everyone and welcome back to ILR3. My name's Cliffy and I'll be taking you through the proceedings tonight here at the Japanese Grand Prix. And before we get on into the qualifying times, I'm going to quickly take you through possible strategies tonight for this Grand Prix. So if it is a dry race, then we could be looking at guys maybe going super soft to the mediums just to do the safe strategy. But you might see guys like Zenki, Spaghetti Chips, Tough to Handle all opt for the super soft to soft strategy. Now this strategy is a lot more riskier in terms of making the super softs go the distance in the first stint. Of course everyone knows if they've done Japan on this game that the super softs, they do tend to lose quite a lot of wear and heat up past lap 6. So hopefully these guys go for the safer strategy, but again it would be nice to see other people do some alternate strategies, especially outside the top 10, where I think most guys will again start on the softs and maybe go mediums, or even start on the mediums and go super softs at the end, who knows. But I'm going to ride on board with Owen, who I think got points last week if I'm not mistaken. He's got a bit of traffic there, but they're not going to cause him any difficulty. He's going to steam into turn 1 again, difficult braking zone into the first corner. Takes it with ease, looks quite composed in that sail wheel, which is what we haven't seen in the last couple of weeks from Owen. Going for the first sector again on a wheel, this feels absolutely amazing. If any wheel users watching this stream, they can agree on just how nice it feels when you master sector 1. It does feel quite nice, but Owen, scruffy first sector, but again he's kept it on track, which again is hard enough, especially through the end of sector 1. You've got a fast right-hander, which looks tighter than it is, because you run onto that gravel and back end steps out, and as you're qualifying over it. But Owen doing a fantastic job so far as he finishes up sector 2, coming into the spoon corner now, and Lewis is already out. So Lewis has, I think, binned it on his lap, because he was on an out lap on a set of mediums at the start, so Lewis has most probably binned it. But Owen coming through spoon now, down the back straight. Cohen sets a 27.6. Can Owen get anywhere near that? Be very surprised if he doesn't. Coming through 130R. Again, not looking quite composed. Dartbolt with 27.2. 4 tenths quicker than Cohen. Owen now. Oh, not a great exit out of the chicane. And Owen sets a 30.9. And of course did back out towards the end of the lap, so maybe he's thinking soft medium or soft super softs. I'll quickly get the chat up to see who is in the chat. That is the wrong account. Right, just quickly get this up and running. Yep, there we go. So we have 8 people watching. Lewis, what happened, mate? So we've got Fuzal. Again, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. He says J. Cole Larkin, top 2 please. So we've got some J. Cole and Larkin fans in here. So it's always good to see people cheering on their friends or just people they like in the league. Gives the people racing a little bit of extra confidence. And there's Larkin. Let's go on board with Larkin then. He's currently on that lap. Who else? J. Cole. Where's J. Cole? J. Cole is on a lap, I believe. He is on a lap on the medium tyres. So again, this doesn't surprise me, people opting for the mediums at the start of quali. Just to get a feel for the track, because of course the mediums being the less grippier tyre. So if they can set a lap on mediums and it's semi-competitive, then they know they've got a chance at a very good result here tonight. Hello Onyx, welcome to the stream. Hopefully we have a very good race like last week in Russia, where Zenki took another dominating win. But of course Japan is a lot different to Russia. There's a lot more corners, and that's sector 1, anything can happen. So hopefully Zenki, I mean, again, we all know he's got the pace for ILR1, ILR2, so I'm predicting him to get pole and come on with the win. J. Cole to the line and sets a 29.5. That's a great lap from J. Cole there, just behind Mata, who again is on the mediums as well. So I'm going to quickly see what tyres everyone is on and what they've set their best lap on. So Funaid, a 28.5 on mediums. That's a great lap from him, even out qualified Rink, who qualified on the super softs. So again, Funaid proving over the last couple of weeks he has got the pace, which is quite surprised me. Hello Shadow, welcome to the stream. can't believe I crashed where I crashed. Where did you crash, Lewis? I didn't quite pick it up. So Funaid, I think he's on an in-lap now, I do believe. So we'll try and find... Flexi's gone 4th for 27.9. So again, that's a very good lap from Flexi. Of course, he is using my setup. I'd give him a setup I would be using on Sunday. So I'm expecting Flexi to at least get points here. And there's a Williams behind him. I think that's Konzo. It is. No, it ain't. It's tough to handle. Let's go on board with tough to handle then. And you can see on the soft tyres on an outlap right behind Flexi. And Larkin, I think, is on his... Nope. He is not. He's on a lap, but he's not using ERS. So this could just be, again, just a feel for the track, just to see how the mediums feel and if he is on the pace on them, because his time he is aiming for is currently a 28.5 by Funaid. And I don't think he's going to get anywhere near that. He's loads in sector 2. Let's quickly see if we can catch that. Nope, just slap. I think that might be someone letting someone else go on the lap. Oh, yeah, I think that was Flexi letting tough to handle go. Oh, unlucky Lewis. Yeah, AMK, yeah, Zenki should win without a shadow of a doubt. Zenki should definitely win today. But again, you know, all the added pressure on him. Everyone in the chat in ILR3 chat has said, Zenki, you know, you're way too quick for this league, mate. You know, ILR2, ILR1 next season, without a shadow of a doubt. So again, that added pressure from him. He could bottle it today, as we've seen. Singapore, for example, Belgium as well, where Zenki did indeed DNF in Belgium, and in Singapore got slight wing damage, but of course around Singapore it can be quite crucial. And Zenki 26.8, so again, not that far in front of pole. 4 attempts to dart bolt in second. So this could be closer for Zenki than he first thought. I mean, he should be aiming for, I'm going to say mid to low 26s is what I've seen most people set in ILR1, ILR2. I don't know about ILR3, I'm going to say high 26, low to mid 27, and we're seeing that here with 3rd and 5th all in the mid 27s to high 27s. So Matthew, he set a lap 27.8 on the super soft tyres. That's a good lap from him. So we're seeing some good laps from the likes of Matthew, Flexi and Funaid on their medium tyres, of course, a 28.5. He's going to be one to watch as he comes out, maybe on the softs, even the super softs, but he'll definitely be one to watch towards the end of qualifying. Nigel's just about to start a lap, so let's stay with Nigel then, see what he can say. Of course, in that nice Mercedes on the super soft tyres. So again, this is should be a competitive lap from Nigel. Again, someone who has got the pace, but you know, in a league as close as this, I mean, barring Zenki, but everyone else I think in ILR3 is quite close on pace. So it should be good to see Nigel getting out all out of shape on the exit. Luckily didn't go too far wide and kept the car. And again, go too wide, he just kept it on track. But again, you go on that gravel and that is it. Your race and qualifying could be over in an instant. And yeah, Nigel has indeed decided to back out of that lap, which is quite... I'd do the same, to be fair, if I was him. As someone who, I mean, I used no ABS in quali today because I did some practice around here today. As everyone knows, I'm sort of practicing now, and I set my best lap. It wasn't a great lap. There was obviously mistakes in the lap, but I set a 27.1 at the end of qualifying. But that you know, there's a lot of time in that lap. At least 7 to 8 attempts for me personally. As Nigel, I think he's going to go again. So yeah, we'll stick with Nigel then. See what time he can do. Of course, them super stuff's going to be just that tiny bit worn doing that first lap. Coming to turn 1 again, looks quite clean from Nigel, clipping the apex on the inside. Doesn't want to get too far wide and doesn't. Coming into the first sector now again. It just feels amazing on the wheel. Again, Konzo navigating that Mercedes run. Again, he goes wide and that's off the track, and he's prime example of what can happen. He's in the wall, he's lost a bit of his wing. Now he's got to move out of the way. I think that was his teammate. No, it weren't. That was tough to handle, I do believe. It was. Now, has he backed out? I think he has. So Tough to Handle's gone 5th with a 27.5. So again, a good lap from him. But I expect Funaid, who's on the softs now, to beat that lap. So let's stick with Funaid as he runs down the start-finish straight on overtake, of course. Nice gear shifts here. That sounded nice. If ILR does go no assists, I would be happy because then I'd obviously be forced to learn no assists. I mean, I can use no ABS. It's literally just a racing line. I would struggle with as Funaid with the back end there, getting all squirmy, but managing to just keep it under control. Looking quite clean there from the Toro driver, who the last recent weeks has put on a really good show. Has found some pace that I didn't think he'd find. When I started commentating ILR3, whether he was just getting wing damage on that one, but he was finding himself down the order. But as I said, these last couple of weeks, he's definitely stepped up to the plate and found at least, I'm going to say at least half a second of pace, because he's right with the front runners now. So let's go try and go further down. We'll keep an eye on Funaid as he ends his lap. Paul is on a lap. He's got first place man Zenki who's just about to start up, so this might give Paul just a tiny bit of a tow. I don't think it will. Paul is on the softs and he goes 14th with 29 flat. So let's see where Funaid, he's coming across the line. He goes 7th with 27.6, so Tough to Handle. Fastest of the soft runners, only by about, I'm going to say about 2/10. Well, just under 2/10, sorry. Dougie as well in 6th. Good luck. I feel like Dougie goes unnoticed in this league quite a lot. Oh wow! Well, fair play, Shadow man. I mean, yeah, I don't use full racing line. I mean, come on. I think we all know how to drive in a straight line, but no ABS is fine for me. I'm also a little bit slower with it on off. Sorry, that's of course obvious, but I like the way how it feels more natural using no ABS. I definitely agree with that. So we've got Dartbolt. Is he on the lap? I believe he is on the lap. Yes, he is. Let's see. Let's compare his sector 1 time to Zenki's. So Dartbolt's at 32 flat and Zenki at 31.7. That's a great first sector from the Red Bull driver. Dartbolt can't get near it in the first sector. Goes wide on the hairpin. Now that could be better because he will get just a little bit better traction coming out of the hairpin. And yeah, I think now we're going to see people come out on their set of maybe super softs. So some of the guys have opted for the softs. So you can see there, the bottom half of the grid all opt in for the soft tyres, and you've got the likes of Konzo 2, Rink all opt in for the supers. Funaid still on them softs, and Tough to Handle still on them softs. So again, this could get very interesting towards the end of qualifying. Yeah, Lewis, 2015 when I joined, when it was called F1 TS Hub, they did restrict brake. I thought all braking assist, so I turned ABS off and had to use no ABS from F1 2015 till I think midway through 2016, and I decided to turn it on because it was on 2016 quicker to run ABS on, and I just haven't looked back since. It's only recently where I've joined VSR, which race on no ABS, and the pace is coming. Every week I feel myself improving. I'm getting consistent points finishes now, which is good, but it's just consistency with it. That's one thing I do lack with it. But around Japan I have no problems running no ABS. I don't look up at all. I mean, if I practice some more with it off and I do find the time I know I have, then I'll definitely use it on Sunday. But if not, then I'll have to just turn it on and, you know, see how quick I can go. But anyway, enough about me. Let's go back to the end of this qualifying session as Cohen. I think he set that up at the beginning of the quali. He did. So I'm going to stay on board with him to see what he can say. He's going to be the first out of the top 5, I believe, to set a lap, and that is a terrible camera angle. So we'll go on board with him to see how he navigates his way through sectors 1 and 2, and of course the last, I mean I think the last sector here is pretty irrelevant. It's literally just what, 130R and a chicane, that's it. But anyway, going through sector 1 again, looking quite tidy, and of course the tidy laps always look slow, but they're not. They're always the ones that are quicker than the guys who are sort of squirming the car, squirting the back end. And this is looking very nice from Cohen so far. Matthew's actually popped up into third with 27.3. Again, that's a great lap from Matthew. Comes into the hairpin. I don't want to get on the throttle too early because that back end will step out, as Lewis will tell you, as he binned it in qualifying on the medium tyres. Zenke's on that lap, but I'm staying with Cohen to see if he can improve his time to 27.3. Again, it's looking like a good lap from Cohen, nice and tidy as he approaches 130R. Again, the most irrelevant sector in F1 history, as he comes into the chicane now. Wants to get a good exit out of the last corner, he does, and Cohen to the line will set a 27 dead. So that is Cohen in second place at the minute. So that's a good lap from him. So maybe Zenke hasn't got it as easy as he thought. He is on a lap. So we'll see what Zenke can do. We'll have a look at his sector 1. Oh, he's gone wide there, but again, he manages to keep the car. Flexi has stayed 8th. So let's see Zenke's first sector, 31.8. compared to Cohen's 31.8 as well. So at the moment these two are quite tied, but of course Cohen having done his lap, Zenke of course has the upper hand at the minute by about 2.5 tenths, I'm going to say. So he over revs that Red Bull. He's absolutely pushing everything he can out of that car, and again goes wide into Spoon. Oh, that could be invalid, and Spaghetti Chips goes second with 26.9. So again, championship contender of course, haven't really mentioned that. Him and Tough to Handle is getting to biting point now for the season. Zenke winning that slipstream off Owen, and Owen I think has backed out of his lap, he has. So Zenke is coming to the line. We'll find a couple of corners. Can Zenke improve on 26.8? Crosses the line and oh, he barely improves. So again, not even a tenth between Zenke and Spaghetti Chips. Cohen of course has finished. Who else? I think that's it. I think everyone has done their laps. Tough to Handle with 27.5 on a set of softs. So he's got it all to do, starting down in the mid-pack. He's got to be careful going into turn 1 because of course, with it being such a high speed but high braking zone, we could see some people in the midfield get pushed off track. Going back to what the smoking skill said about destroying racing line is garbage. Yeah, I can see that. People who obviously use no racing line obviously look at people who use racing line and go, well, how can you not use it? And I'd be the same. If I was a person who ran no racing line, I'd say it was quite easy to use. But for someone who runs it in corners only, I do find it, I don't know, I just don't want to play the game that much. But anyway, that is qualifying, and Zenke does get pole, not by a huge margin, less than a tenth to Spaghetti Chips in second, Cohen in third, Konzo in fourth, Matthew with a good qualifying in fifth, Dartbolt down in sixth. We've got to feel Dartbolt had the pace to definitely challenge Zenke, but Tough to Handle being the first of the soft runners in seventh, Dougie in eighth, Funaid in ninth, and Flexi in the top 10 with Rink in 11th, Nigel in 12th, Owen 13th, J. Cole 14th, Aerostress is 15th, Matter 16th, Paul 17th, Larkin 18th, and Lewis at the back, who binned it in qualifying. I'm just not going to stop mentioning that, Lewis. Someone's going in that gravel. Oh yeah, crashed in sector 1. And yeah, I'm going to say at least I'm going to say 3 to 4 cars are going to either get wing damage or spin on lap 1. Again, put it in the chat who you think will win the race, or if you've got any favourites you're rooting on, then do put it in the chat. I'll be sure to mention it on stream. Looking quite cloudy as well, so whether it will stay a dry race, again I don't know. We should have a feature where we should see the weather. But Zenki getting cars off the grid, and again not really revving the car up. And Spaghetti Chip says, well, if you ain't going to go quick, mate, then I'll definitely go ahead of you. But let's quickly get everything set up so I don't have to do it at the start of the race. There we go, so that is everything now set up. And yeah, Zenki starting the formation lap. Again, outside the top 10 we have Rink on mediums, Nigel on mediums, J. Cole and Larkin all on mediums, and everyone else outside the top 10 has opted for the soft tyres, which again something I would do. I've tried the mediums at the start of the race and they are absolutely, they are just terrible. So I don't know how the likes of Rink, Nigel and J. Cole are gonna contend with them cold mediums. Again, with it being cloudy as well, it could also play into the hands of the guys on the super softs. It might help them keep them tyres just under that temperature, which will keep them in the window to perform. So Flex is in a pretty unique position here. He's got Rink behind him on the mediums and everyone else ahead of him. Funny, Dougie and Tough to Handle all on the softs, so Flexi will need a good start here to maybe get ahead of Funny, maybe even Dougie into turn 1 if he gets that much of a good start. So to keep an eye on a Force India in the background off the start, and this is how formation lap should be done. Nice and quick, no messing about from Zenki. Oh, saying that though, bye bye Spaghetti Chips and Zenki. Yep, so now come in, we'll lead the grid back to their slots. So yeah, he's in P13 as all the cars are now on their way back to the grid. We'll stay on board with Lewis, give him some TV time. With that, with going into turn 1, he'll no doubt get wing damage. But I'm now going to go back, or I can't even select Zenki at the minute. So there's Lewis now parked in his car. I'm going to try. There's Zenki, and that is a terrible camera angle. Another terrible camera angle. There we go. So we're going to go to 5 red lights, and we're underway for the Japanese Grand Prix. Zenki's got a good start, but the McLaren just bogged down off the line. That's going to allow the Cohen and almost Dartbolt as well to go through, but Spaghetti Chips back down the inside of Cohen, and I think he's got that move done. They're almost, it's dangerous going through there too wide at the opening lap, but that's allowed Zenki to get a little bit of a lead up to Spaghetti Chips. But again, anything can happen off the first opening laps. Behind we've got Matthew in 4th, again going well. He's had a good start right up behind Cohen. Can he make the move? Is he close enough? No, he isn't. Decides to keep it calm, doesn't want to risk getting damage on lap 1, which you could see, and it looks like it was all single file there. I don't think anyone had any issues, so again that's good to see. And Flexi now up into 8th, so again he's had a great start, has Flexi, which I said he needed to do. He's gone past Tough to Handle. Now his next target is Dougie, again on them soft tyres. We'll need to get past him ASAP if he wants to be back with his super soft runners. But he ain't losing that much time, so maybe he might be able to stay behind Dougie. But back up in front, Spaghetti Chips isn't letting Zenki get away. The gap, I don't know what the gap is because the game's broken, but Spaghetti Chips, I'm going to say the gap is about half a second. I'm going to say half a second, but I'm going to go further down the field. Matter down in last place. Oh, almost getting wing damage on the back, and I think no, that was just Bullard. Larkin. Oh my god, look at this. Look at Paul. I'm going to go on board with Lewis because look, Paul is attacking Owen. Owen's down the inside of Nigel, so this could be potentially 3 wide into the first corner. Oh, that is tight. Owen down the inside of Nigel, gets the move done. That's a good move from Owen. Oh, almost gets desync there. You have to be careful. And Lewis will have to play just watch and just see what happens. Because if anyone goes off, then Lewis will no doubt take advantage of it. And it says that Cohen's 28 seconds behind. So yeah, that's false. But look at Owen, he's on the attack, he's on the back of Rink, he's on the mediums, of course. Oh, that's wing damage for Owen. We all saw that. That's unfortunate for Owen. He just took it way too fast. Of course, Rink on the mediums. And Owen dives down his inside, says thank you very much for giving me wing damage. Will he hang it around the outside? I don't think he will with that wing damage. No, he won't. And why is it saying that these guys are all 2 minutes behind? But up in front, we've got Fun Aid and Tough to Handle. Oh, Tough to Handle's in the wall. He's been desynced. Tough to Handle. Oh my god. Frink is out as well. Oh my god. Wow. That was definite desync, in my opinion. Owen now's losing all the places he gained off the start. J. Cole now going through. Nigel going back through. And it has the timings have sorted themselves out. And of course, Owen, will he carry on? He does. I wasn't expecting that from Owen, but Nigel and Paul. I'm going to go on board with Paul here. Owen, he's got to try to squeeze Nigel down the inside. Owen will have to hold it around the outside, but can't. Paul says, thank you very much, Owen. I will take that place from you, and he does. And now Lewis will have to get past his teammate. Well, not his teammate, but, you know, Lewis is reserving, of course. Lewis will have to be aware that Owen does have wing damage. I think Lewis will see that. So we'll just see how much he's struggling. And Lewis says thank you very much. No, he doesn't. Owen, they're side by side. Owen, who's going to back out? Lewis does need back out. So Owen, I mean, to be fair to him, is defending quite well with the wing damage. And it is quite close to the whole field. So again, nothing really major apart from Owen getting wing damage. Everyone else, oh, Matter down the inside. That's a bold move. But can't get the traction down. And stays back in 17th place. I'm going to go back to Lewis now as he tries to get past Owen again. Can he do it? No, he can't. So one person's going to love that. It's spaghetti chips. Oh, Lewis losing the back end. He had to play with that steering wheel there to try and keep that Sauber under control. But now with the... Oh, sorry, Nigel and Paul going side by side through 130. I think Paul might have fended off Nigel there. Owen and Lewis. Lewis falls to the outside. That's allowed Larkin to sneak on through. So Larkin on the mediums. Oh, look at that. Just switch to the inside. This is Larkin's move now. Lewis feels hard done by now because Larkin's come out of nowhere. Dougie, I think, has had enough because he's now down into 7th. Flexi still behind Dougie. So Flexi not really with the pace. But look at this. Where is Owen? He's under pressure now from Aero Specialist. All that wing damage is not playing well for Owen. I think Aero Specialist will have to stay behind. And Lewis is finally passed now, so now he can go fighting after Larkin. So we've got Marlon who wants spag and chips to protect, maybe even win the race. But at the moment, oh, I think Owen's off. Owen is off, and that is Owen out of the race. So I'm not surprised there. With that wing damage, of course, he couldn't carry on. I mean, he could have pitted for mediums and gone to the end, but, you know, no one's going to do it. I mean, I would have done that. Oh, sorry. Flexi and, sorry, not Flexi, Dartbolt and Dougie going at it. This is for 6th place. Flexi has Fun Aid behind him. Let's go on board with Flexi to see what he can see. Can Dartbolt go for a move on Dougie? He has to go around the outside. Oh, that is close between all 4 of these guys. Look at that. What a shot. Oh, Flexi's touched his teammate. Oh, no. That is terrible. Flexi has left. So, again, another disastrous showing from Flexi there. Going so well for him, and then just that split second and his race is done. Now Lewis up into 11th. He's got back past Larkin down into turn 1. So Larkin on the medium tyres doing quite well, but J. Cole on the mediums as well. He's sort of in no man's land. He's got a pole right behind him though. And Dartbolt has called it a day as well, I believe. He has. So I think he was at the back, I think he was involved. He of course got spun by his teammate. And now look at this. Lewis all over the back of Nigel. Can Lewis go for a move? No, he doesn't. He'll have to wait. He might go for a move in this hairpin. Of course, Lewis repping that unlucky number 13. Maybe that's why he binned it in qualifying. Lewis round the outside of the hairpin. Nigel was not having none of it. He's still there. They're still side by side. I think Lewis, though, just on sheer traction, should get this move done, and he does. Moves up into P9. So Lewis had a good start, keeping his way out of all the trouble, and can now go after Paul, who still can't get past Jacob on their medium tyres. I think maybe Flexi might have just felt guilty. I think maybe he knew he was at fault there. But with that, with Tough to Handle being decent, that's going to allow Spaghetti Chips, who's under attack from Cohen. They're side by side through turn 1. Spaghetti Chips defends from Cohen, but as I said, with Tough to Handle retiring, this is going to blow the championship battle just out of the water. I mean, if Spaghetti Chips can finish second or even on the podium, he's going to gain a whole lot of points on Tough to Handle. So again, I mean, just this game is so bad. I mean, the fact that you can't get close to someone because of desync is, it just proves what we have to put up with. Whether we run assist or not, we all have to put up with desync, and you know, it is bad when it happens like that. I mean, I feel sorry for Rink as well, because he was just trying to avoid I think Tough to Handle's Williams, but unfortunately I think it ghosted, but he didn't think it would, I didn't think it would, and he just ended up in the wall himself. So again, 2 retirements which realistically shouldn't have happened, but again, this game being as bad as it is, and we all continue to play it, so more for us, I say. Yeah, I'd say, you know, people can't drive, but then with the whole Tough to Handle incident, that was just all desync. Back up behind Dougie and Konzo. Dougie and, sorry, yeah, that is Konzo going into battle. Dougie holding it around the outside. Who's going to have the DRS? I think it will be J. Cole. Konzo, sorry. Nope, Dougie has it. And now Cohen and Spaghetti Chips going at it again. I think there was a little bit of slight contact there because I sent Cohen just wide, and Spaghetti Chips again holding on to that second place, which is what he needs now. He needs as much points as possible, but Zenki in the world of his own already, 3.5 seconds of gap. But again, he has been able to bottle it, and he did say in the chat today that am I ready for a Zenki bottle? And I did say I have got my bottle at hand, but hopefully it doesn't come to that, because again, this man has got exceptional pace for this division. So it'd be good to see him in the high division next season, maybe even potentially in ILR1 contesting for wins. But Cohen and Spaghetti Chips still together on track. Error Specialist picking up the first penalty of the day. And now Cohen, he must be frustrated behind that McLaren. He's had 2 chances now to get past, but just hasn't been able to hang it around the outside of Spaghetti Chips, who has been defending quite well from the Haas driver. But behind there, Matthew keeping a watching brief. Only 2.5 seconds. So again, if these two crash, or you know, one of them spins, then Matthew could be in a potential podium position here. So I mean, he's not got any cars around him, so there's no reason why Matthew can't get a good result tonight, as they all finish lap number 7 and go on to lap 8 now. Paul and Lewis going at it. Of course, Paul being the ILR3 admin, you don't want to mess with Paul or take him out. The wrath of Paul. But Lewis with DRS, Paul defending the inside. Lewis had to go round the outside a long way round, which is something I personally don't feel comfortable with if I'm round the outside of someone. And again, Paul does defend. It's so easy to defend from someone. Oh, but Lewis around the outside. Oh, slight contact. And look at this, Larkin again looking to sneak his way through, as we see him do a couple laps ago on Lewis. Funny just pit for the medium, so again I think Funny must have got wing damage. All but behind Nigel, getting all out of shape. Matter again, still keeping a watching brief just outside the top 10, so any mistake from the guys ahead, and that would allow Mao to get into the top 10. But Lewis, look at this, he's all over the back of Paul. Is he going to go for it? No, he doesn't. And Lewis doesn't have to look in front, but has to look behind, because Larkin on their mediums is still there. He is still there. He's keeping up with these guys on the harder tyre. Lewis and Paul still going at it. Paul defending the inside. Lewis, is he going to switch back? Oh, just can't get the car turned in. We've seen Lewis play with that back end a couple times, but now down. And then to sector 2, coming into 130. Lewis have to go around the outside. Again, this could end in tears. Oh, Paul squeezes him. Lewis is off track. Larkin is looking to go around the outside of Lewis. He is. Oh, I think Lewis might have wing damage from Paul there. I don't think he has. No, he hasn't. So Lewis is able to stop the car in time. Matthew and Spaghetti Chips are both in the pits. But look at this. Larkin. Oh, that's a terrible camera angle. But look at this. Oh, again. Oh my god, they're going to be 3 wide. Oh my god. Lewis, I think Lewis backed out, but Paul. All defending Lewis. Almost off the track. Larkin almost spun it as well. So again, this is getting fiery now. 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th and 9th. All on the same bit of track. So let's go on board with Matter and see what he sees. But again, look at Lewis. He's all over the back of Paul's rear end. But Paul is doing a fantastic job defending that. Oh, Lewis has just shoved Larkin off the track. I don't think he got wing damage though. And that's going to allow Nigel to go past. So Larkin did well to not get wing damage there. I don't know what Lewis is thinking. Might have been a little bit decent on his screen. Who knows? It being F1 2018, it wouldn't surprise me. Plus giving Lewis a little bit of breathing space to Nigel behind, so Lewis can now go all over Paul. But again, Paul defending inside into Spoon. Lewis can go for a little bit of a switchback here, but again, Paul defends very well. Oh, Lewis, Zenki. Oh, see. Now, did he get that guy into the hairpin? I think he might have done. So Zenki with a fire, he will serve that when he comes in as well. Lewis and Paul going at it again. Lewis around the outside. Oh, just enough space on track there from Paul. You can see Paul's wing there. And again, round the outside goes Lewis. Paul. Oh, there's contact. How have they kept that then? Oh my god, look at this. Oh my god, they're going to be 4 wide. This is going to end in tears. There's going to be a crash. There is going to be a crash. Nigel was somehow got in front of everyone. Paul says, no, you haven't, mate, because I'm here. Lewis somehow is still behind Paul. And Larkin and Nigel are now going at it. Wow. Oh my god. What are we seeing here? 4 wide into turn 1. I had terrible camera angle, so I couldn't even get a good shot of that. But Lewis must be absolutely screaming, as is Sauber's doing right now. Good representation of what Lewis is doing in the party right now. He's going to go for it. Oh, Paul defends the inside. That's going to allow Nigel to sneak his way through. Oh, but Lewis and Paul have made contact, and Nigel from out of nowhere says thank you very much. Now Paul has to defend from Nigel. Oh, tried to go down the inside, but look at this. Lewis around the outside. Lewis isn't giving up without a fight. That's for damn sure. Lewis around the outside of Spoon, gets the move done, and can now go back on the attack on Paul, who defends the outside. And now look at this. I'm definitely going to bother Matter for this. This is going to be absolutely insane. Oh, Matter. Paul and Lewis. Oh, Paul's in the grass. Matter wisely backs out of that. And look at this. Again, round number 2, anyone? I think Lewis has got a bit of a gap there. He has. So that's what Lewis needed. Paul has started to come into the pits to get out of that train. So has Larkin. So whether Larkin's wing damage, he has. Has Paul got wing damage then? Where is Paul? Paul hasn't got. So this is Paul's pit stop. So this is going to get him in front of Larkin, who of course is changing that wing. Funny now up into the top 10 with his early pit stop. But that was incredible racing the last couple of laps. Going to go back up to that battle because Matter and Nigel now only 2 cars from that 4-car train to still be involved in the fight for what is now 3rd place on track. And with that 5-second penalty, I think this is just going to make the race even more interesting. So I think Zenki now, who's his next rival? Wait, hold on. Spaghetti Chips is pit. So he's got a 1.5 advantage. Okay, so Spaghetti Chips is the net leader. With, oh, that's a good shot, helicopter shot. I'm not going to change camera angle because I want to see. And yeah, Spaghetti Chips. Again, nice helicopter shot, and it's gone now. There we go, another helicopter shot of the other McLaren, of Dougie, Konzo as well. And look at this, Matthew, what a great shot of that Renault. Again, I don't know how Matthew's lost so much time. I don't know, but going back to the battle with Matt, I think he's going to attack Nigel now. This is his only chance. Nigel defends the inside. Zenki sets the fastest lap. Well, 1:30 point now. That is blistering pace. Matt around the outside. Ooh, my! How's he kept that then? Nigel has managed to defend. I don't know how he's managed to defend that. And I don't know how Matt has even kept that even on the track. But what a great piece of driving from both these drivers to give each other space. But I think the most important thing we have to realise here is that Spaghetti Chips is catching these guys, and Zenki is a man on a charge after that 5-second stop go, which I'm going to say was BS given it's F1 2018. But look at this is not helping Spaghetti Chips. He knows Zenki's a quicker driver at the two of them, but of course he isn't involved in the championship fight this season. And Spaghetti Chips around getting a better exit than Matt. They're both still side by side. Terrible camera angle. Go on board with Zenki. Matt tries to squeeze Spaghetti Chips, but he isn't having none of it. Down the inside goes Spaghetti Chips. Forces Matt off a little bit. Zenki, out of nowhere, gets the move done. Matt, I think them softs are starting to lose a little bit of wear, but he's coming back at Zenki. Is he going to go for a move or is he going to back out? I think he's still going to go for it. He is. Side by side into 130R. Bad, I think, backed out. And now we've got a 4-car train again. With Zenki now. And Spaghetti Chips in the middle of it. And again, that rear end on that Red Bull doesn't look too keen at the minute. Matt decides to pit, so now this is a 3-car train. Spaghetti Chips has to get this move done now. He's gaining. I don't think he's going to have enough. Is he? No, he's not. That's going to allow Zenki to close up. And this interesting battle for the win gets even more interesting, as both these guys have to now stay behind Nigel, who's been on them mediums a lot longer from the race start. So again, Nigel having a solid stint here. But again, look at J. Cole on the softs, mediums, sorry. Watch out for him towards the end. And Lewis, Spaghetti Chips and Nigel around the outside. Zenki, he's got past Spaghetti Chips, so you have to feel that was a bit of a dumb move from Spaghetti Chips to go for a move there around the outside. Oh, Spaghetti Chips just... Oh, that's wing damage. Again, another stupid move from Spaghetti Chips, and he's now got wing damage. Nigel's DRS hasn't worked since that before. Wow, that is tough. That is really tough. And now we go back to Spaghetti Chips, who again, with wing damage, I mean, even if he still finishes in the top 10, he'll gain, even if it's like a point or two, he'll still gain on tough to handle. So he's just got to remember that. His battle isn't with Zenki, it's with tough to handle. He's got to think about the long run here. He is carrying on, but Cohen is catching him now. 3 attempts at last sector alone. Nigel though, still behind Zenki. So although Nigel is on much older mediums, and if his DRS hasn't worked since lap 4, then he's doing a fantastic job to stay even competitive down the start-finish straight. But again, I feel like one to watch is J. Cole. He's got about 10-second lead over, J. Cole has a 10-second lead over Zenki. No, not Zenki, Nigel and all the other guys behind. So again, when J. Cole pits, if he even pits for softs in the next couple of laps, he could be in a very good position towards the end of this race. But going further down the field, Cohen now 5 tenths behind Spaghetti Chips, so that wing damage is proven to be costly here for him, but again, he just needs to think, you know, if he finishes in 5th, 6th, even, he can even afford to finish in 7th, that's 6 points gained on tough to handle. So there's not really much going on. Larkin and Aero Specialist, of course, both teammates side by side, well, not side by side, but within 2 tenths of each other, so hopefully Aero Specialist lets his teammate go, because of course he's on the quicker tyre and is the quicker, I'd say, out of the 2 of them. But Spaghetti Chips, he's losing more and more time to Cohen, and Dougie now is on his way through as well. Going to turn 1, Spaghetti Chips again. Considering he's got wing damage, he's driving pretty well. Goes a little bit wide on exit. Cohen's been driving that house really well today. Really been looking quite composed, quite tidy as well. Not pushing the car too much, not letting it get over the curbs. Just driving his own race, and he's letting everyone else around him make mistakes, and it's paying out well for him. Because he should be up into P. If he overtakes Spaghetti Chips, he should be into P2 when everyone else pits. So this is good. It should be a good result for Cohen today. Spaghetti Chips now is on the back of Nigel. So is he going to go for a move? No, he isn't. Zenki's absolutely gone. From this, he's now 3.5 seconds ahead of Nigel. So that 5, I mean, even with a 5-second stop go, this man cannot be stopped. That is terrible. Okay, so Nigel's DRS is back online now. Thank you for letting me know, Rink. I do appreciate that. And Spaghetti Chips indeed pits with that wing damage. I think he might go on to a set of softs, or even super softs. That will release Cohen now to try and overtake Nigel. As Zenki now within a second to Lewis now. So let's see how these two battle. Lewis has been on them soft 15 laps. What a stint from Lewis. He's definitely going to super softs. Yeah, it was all desync, to be fair. I got it on stream. It was definitely all desync. It wasn't nothing malicious. It was definitely desync. But going back to Zenki now. Again, flawless race. Apart from a little hiccup with a 5-second stop go. But he's got away with it, even with serving it in the pit stop. I mean, you can hear Lewis's car screaming. Look at that. I mean, imagine you had to put up with that for a whole of a race. And I think Lewis is letting him go. He is. So Lewis doesn't want any part of battling the race leader. Yep, Zenki says, does a gesture of thank you to Lewis. So that's good to see from Lewis. Doesn't want to get in Zenki's way. Doesn't want to hold him up. Because he knows he's on his own strategy. He knows that he's on for a good result. And Nigel has indeed pit, so that now promotes Cohen up into 4th. And now Dougie's right behind him actually, so this could be a good fight for P2 towards the end of this race. Dougie though, not able to get the move done into turn 1, so now we'll have to stay behind that Haas driver. And again, Dougie's car is crying out. Well, I'm not saying that on stream, Rink. I do apologise. I would rather say Cohen, to be fair. I don't want to say that on stream, mate. So unless Cohen has like a nickname, then cool. But I'm not calling him that. Sorry. And go back to the fight. Dougie still behind Cohen. Dougie all of a sudden has picked up the pace though, so he was about 2 or 3 seconds behind Cohen. I can't listen to that. I'm so sorry to everyone. I was on that for so long there. Let's go back on board with Funaid, who I think had wing damage at the start. He should be able to get the mediums to the end of the race. Locking up is Funaid. He's got Konzo ahead of him. Lewis is pit. Excuse me. There should be a set of super softs for Lewis. He should rejoin. Maybe behind Matthew, so he's still going to be in the points. As Matthew goes past, he's now up into P7 with Lewis down into P9. So he's got a massive overcut on the likes of Paul and Nigel, who's behind Aero Specialist. So I don't know what happened to Nigel, whether I think he might have had wing damage. Spaghetti Chips, of course, we want to have wing damage. And he's down in 13th place, so again, tough to handle. Could be breathing a sigh of relief at this rate. As Zenki closes in on J. Cole. Again, it's been a very good stint from J. Cole. Lewis is 5.2 behind Matthew, so expect that gap to absolutely fly down. As Funaid on the back of Konzo still as we approach to start, I think lap 19. Yes, J. Cole is about to start lap 19, or is he going to pit? No, he doesn't. He carries on. Zenki is gaining, not much, but he's gaining about, I'm going to say, 3 to 4 tenths a lap. Excuse me. As Dougie now 6 tenths behind Cohen. And he just can't gain enough down the back start-finish straight. Cohen does defend. Dougie just can't. Oh, he tried to go down the inside, but just couldn't get close enough to warrant Cohen to give him space. Funaid and Konzo though, this all of a sudden heated up between the two of them. Both on, well, Funaid's an older medium to Konzo, so you later on in the race you should expect Konzo to have that slight pace advantage over Funaid. But it's been another good race from Konzo. He's had a few good races, I believe, from what I can remember. Funaid tried to go around the outside, just trying to get that better exit. Doesn't want to get on the throttle too early because the car will step out and he will have to fight that rear end, as we've seen many guys do before. And again, the gap between Lewis and Matthew now 3.1, so that gap is absolutely flying now. Oh, Funaid, rear end. Where's it gone? Konzo as well. Wow, Konzo's one I think was worse. Because that's, oh no, Funaid is still losing time. So I think maybe the mediums are starting to give up the best grip for Funaid. You have to go careful on them tyres now. So he locks up the front right. J. Cole does indeed pit. He's on the super softs. Is he going to come out? He's going to come out, I'm going to say, in front of Matthew. Yeah, so he's come out in 6th place. As Lewis sets the fast lap of 1:29.6. So Lewis is absolutely flying here. And there's Matthew. Out of nowhere. So Matthew up into 6th place now, but you've got to feel J. Cole and Lewis are going to overtake him in the next couple of laps. I think J. Cole might even get it done this lap. This has been a good strategy from both J. Cole and Lewis. Of course, Lewis starting right down the order. I think he started last. So Lewis having a fantastic performance here. It's only a matter of time before J. Cole does get past Matthew. I think Matthew will be happy with this performance though. He's done very well to be in 6th place, and he tried to go for it. I think Matthew tried to give him the space as well. Just a misunderstanding between the two of them, but J. Cole still has plenty of time, plenty of tyre life to get past Matthew. He's on the mediums, but if he wants to catch up to that's a Funaid and Konzo, he's going to have to get it done ASAP, because Lewis, he's right there now. He's only a second behind Konzo. That was 2 seconds at the start of the lap, so he is getting held up here. Funaid and Konzo still fighting. Konzo still defending. Slight look up from Konzo though. That's going to allow Funaid to get closer. Funaid, oh, he's in the wall. Oh, that is not what you want to see. Funaid, oh, he's decided to just call it a day. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised at all. He was running so well, but unfortunately for him, just lost the rear on the exit, of course, over the bump. It just unsettles the car, and that's it. You have to fight it, and he fought it just too hard and couldn't handle it. And unfortunately for him, he's now out of this race. So now that promotes Paul back up into the points, and that promotes now drop into 9th. And now Aero Specialist actually has a shot at points, as does Spaghetti Chips, to be fair. So watch out for Spaghetti Chips, because he could still get a couple points here. I know people might say it's only 2 points, but them 2 points might win him the title. So he'll want to get as much points as possible here today, trying to take a little bit of an advantage out over Tough to Handle's unfortunate crash due to a desync. But now Lewis not really catching up to Matthew now, and Matthew still there or thereabouts with J. Cole. Gap now just under a second. So I feel like Matthew does have the advantage in the straight line speed compared to J. Cole, maybe even Lewis. We're going to see if Lewis can get on him down this back straight. I said the gap now is now extending, so Matthew definitely does have the pace in a straight line over Lewis and J. Cole. But it's in the corners where Matthew's losing his time. Cohen still behind Dougie. Of course, Dougie now up into P2. Zenki with a 9 second advantage now. So what he's got to do is just go as quick as the guy behind. He ain't got to push, he ain't got to do nothing stupid, he's just got to go as fast as the guy behind. That's all he's got to do. So he's only got 5 more laps to navigate through before he does take the win here today in Japan. Lewis now 2 tenths behind Matthew, so again through sector 1 Lewis has gained that second to Matthew. Again, it's been a solid performance from Matthew, take nothing away from him. Oh, Lewis almost on the gravel there. Lewis able to brake so much later than Matthew for that hairpin. But again, Matthew just seems to get a much better exit than Lewis, and of course in a straight line Lewis can't really catch up that much. Excuse me. Again, Lewis's back end is dying, he's dancing all over the place. So again, he needs to get past Matthew at the end of, maybe beginning the next lap. Set him up in the hairpin and try to get a good exit to then go past into turn 1. But Lewis, I don't think he's going to wait that long. No, he isn't. He's going down the inside. Terrible camera angle. Matthew says, you can go through, mate. But I'm just going to get that back. No, he isn't. There's yellow flags as well. I think someone's ripped their wing off, I believe. Who is it? It's not Zenki, is it? No, it's not. Zenki still has a wing. Dougie has a wing. Cohen still does. So I think that might have been someone letting Zenki go. He might have been lapping someone. And now Paul on the fringes off the points. This is a good battle here from 12th to 9th, I believe. And of course Larkin's not far on the road either, so this could be a good finish here for Spaghetti Chips. If he can just get 9th or 8th place, it'll be more than gaining no points on Tough to Handle. Again, Paul making that Haas sing for us, as we've heard multiple weeks. Highlight of Paul's career, I think, was Germany with the ERS. That was funny. Anyway, Paul in 10th, Spaghetti Chips itching to get past. But of course, with everyone in sort of a DRS train, it's sort of really hard for Paul to get through, and Spaghetti Chips and Aero Specialist. And Matt is now, how's he so far back? I think Matt might have got more wing damage, but he's on 10 lap old mediums. You know what, I don't know what's happened. I mean, he might have spun multiple times, but going back to the battle for 10th. Well, battle for 9th really. Is Nigel, no, he's not within DRS, so this is Paul's chance now. He has to whack it up into 4. He does, he racks up into 5. He's gaining on Nigel, but Spaghetti Chips, look at him gaining on Paul. Oh, he's going to go for it. Oh, Paul does give him the space. But Paul says, nope, you ain't coming through this time. As we've seen from Paul today, he is not giving up his place without a solid fight. But you've got to feel spaghetti chips on them soft tyres. He's within a shot at getting to Nigel. Oh, but not with racing like that. He's off the track. Error specialist. He backs out. I don't think he wants to go for the move. No, he doesn't. Thinks better of it. And that will lose spaghetti chips a little bit of time. Not too much. He's still within DRS, but that just puts a little bit of pressure off of Paul, and will now try and focus on trying to get past Nigel, because this is his best shot. But Nigel was almost within DRS to Larkin. As Matter gets a 5, ignoring blue flag, so I'm guessing, yeah, Zenki is right there, so Matter will have to get out of the way. If can't afford to get any more penalties, and Matter is not moving out of the way. So of course, I mean, it's just costing Zenki. I mean, he's 11 seconds ahead. I mean, you would be annoyed if you were Zenki. I would be. I'd be like, listen mate, come on, move over. He might do it at the end of sector 1, beginning of sector 2 maybe. Of course, Zenki just can't afford to get too angry. But going back to Matthew and Lewis now. Matthew's still right behind Lewis, so them super softs are definitely giving up the ghost. Matter's still not letting Zenki pass. I don't know what Matter's doing here, but he should just let Zenki by. And is he? No, what's he? Oh, I don't know what he's doing. I mean, Dougie isn't gaining from this at all. Really let him go down here, maybe? No, that doesn't look like it. I think Zenki's going to have to fight this one, unfortunately. I don't know why. Matter is not moving out of the way. He's defending it, so I don't know why Matter is doing this. He's got another 5 seconds stop go. Maybe he's trying to force Zenki into a bit of a bottle. I mean, I've never seen Matter race like this before. He's always been quite clean. Again, he's not letting Zenki by. Oh my god. Oh, there's contact, and there we go. Zenki says, you know what mate, I'm just going to force my way past. No, Zenki just needs to stay calm here. He knows he's lapped him. He knows he's quicker than Matter. So there you go. Zenki says, you know, you can try to hold me up mate. It will not happen. But look at this. Matthew and Lewis. Matthew fighting back. He's back up into P6. What a man. What is he doing? Matthew is just... He's a changed man. Lewis, I don't know what's happened to Lewis, but I think them superstars have given up the ghost. Because Matthew is gaining away from Lewis and can maybe gain on J. Cole now. Let's quickly go back to Matter and see. He's still right behind Zenki. Yeah, I agree. That was poor from I think maybe Matter's had enough of this race and just thought, you know what? I'm going to show people what I can do. Show I've got the pace. And show I can keep with the leaders. Oh, look at this. Oh, spaghetti chips again. Going for another sketchy move. Oh my god, he's almost in the wall there. Error specialist will have to go around the outside. No, he doesn't. He thinks much better of it. He doesn't want to risk his own race. There's only one more lap of this race. Yeah, it's not good for Matter. I mean, he's still within DRS. So I don't know. It's not great. To be fair, I don't know what Matter was thinking. We might have found out after the race. He might have had an incident with Zenki at some point. I doubt it. They haven't really been on the same bit of track for the whole of the race. But Matter definitely in the wars with the race leader, which could have ended so badly for Zenki because you know, flawless race from him once again. And then you get someone, you know, like Matter, who you think is quite clean, you know, doesn't really want to hold Zenki up, and then he just holds him up. Earth Specialist finally gets past Spaghetti Chips, so the points for Spaghetti Chips is slowly going out the window here. He knows that, and I think he knows he's messed up. Well, I mean, that wing damage messed him up. Hello, Matt. And yeah, Flexi, yeah. Flexi does know all about blue flags and people not moving out of the way. But Matter just can't keep with Zenki now. And I guess we'll find out after the race what Matter was thinking. Matt fought with Zenki, was letting him pass, defending the position. Zenki got past because he had to literally force his way through at turn 1. Luckily got no damage from it, and he's now going to come across the line to win a much deserved race. Matt though, oh my god, Jesus! Right, I'm sorry, that's terrible. That is terrible. Zenki does win the race, so fair play to Zenki for putting up with such a terrible display from Matter there. Something we all didn't expect. Dougie will come home in a solid P2 with Cohen coming home in P3. Konzo a good result, another good result in P4. J. Cole in 5th, a good result for him. Matthew though, again he did catch J. Cole. Oh, we almost went for it as well. But Matthew comes home in 6th. Lewis will come home in a very, very solid 7th. Larkin will come home in 8th. Paul will get points. He's going to get 2 points. Paul crosses the line. He gets 8th. Oh, wow. Paul has got 8th place. Jesus Christ. So we see Zenki celebrating another dominating win there. I mean, absolutely, for what he had to endure the last couple laps. Definitely good racing from Zenki there. You know, didn't lose his head, kept his cool, and he had to force his way through, unfortunately. And it is Zenki who picks up the win. Did have a 3-second time penalty and that 5-second stop go. So, I mean, this man, he's on a roll. He needs to go up to a higher division. Dougie with a solid 2nd place. Cohen in 3rd. Konzo in 4th. J. Cole 14th to 5th. Definite contender for driver of the day. Lewis in 6th. Matthew in 6th, sorry. Lewis in 7th. Paul in 8th from 17th on the grid. That's a great performance from Paul. Spaghetti Chips down in 9th through that wing damage at the end of his first stint. Larkin getting the last point in 10th. Just outside the top 10 we have Nigel, Aero Specialist Matter with some very, very questionable racing, has to be said. And Flexi, Funaid, Dartbolt, Owen, Rink and Tough to Handle we all lost early on in the race. So yeah, some debatable racing there, especially from Matter. Again, no idea what happened to him. Everyone knows that, you know, Matter's always been a clean racer. If he's getting lapped, he'll move out of the way, as everyone else should. So, I mean, hopefully we get an answer as to why Matter did indeed do what he done. Hopefully he gets some sort of penalty, because that is just not on. But yeah, my name's been Cliffy. This has been the Japanese Grand Prix. I do believe next week is USA. So yeah, join me next week, same time. I would say same place, but we're going to be at USA. So yeah, join me next week for USA, and I'll see you next week. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.